Happy Saturday, foodie friends and grain-free VIPs. And welcome to today's Slice of the Grain-Free Lifestyle episode where we are cooking live. I'm so excited to cook with you because it's my mission to help you level up your grain-free lifestyle so you can eat like normal again. As you're coming on, being notified that I'm live, could you say hello in the comments below, and that way I can reach out and thank you. And if you're catching the replay, could you please use #replay so that I can thank you for being present with me and giving up some of your Saturday to cook with me. All right, what do you think we are making? An app? A dessert? What do you think? Go ahead and drop it below. Okay. We are going to make the most delicious side dish you have ever had. Now, I'm not telling you what it is yet because we have a little prep work to do, okay? This is the beginnings of dairy-free cheddar cheese. And if you're like, what? There's no grains, no dairy in here. Now, why does that matter? Because when you go to the grocery store and you buy that bag of dairy-free cheese, it's loaded with hidden grains. And that is a problem for people like us because those hidden grains cause chaos in our bodies. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this cheese base and taste it. What does it taste like? It's pretty yellow. It's liquidy right now. It's cold. It has a cheesy flavor to it. I put some salt, I put some seasonings in here to make it taste right. Now I need to give it the right texture. Okay, so before I take what's in the oven out, I'm gonna do the magic. Water, ingredients, whip it up. Okay. In it goes. I'm gonna show you one more time what's happening here because this was cold, but we're gonna make some magic. We're gonna turn this liquid into a liquid cheese. And it's gonna have the texture and flavor of melted cheddar cheese. Okay. Gotta turn it on. Light the fire. Here we go. Now I need my oven mitts. Are you ready? Are you ready to see what we're making? I can't wait to show you. Okay. Whew. We are making loaded cauliflower bites. So, before you got here, I did the first part of the recipe. I took some cauliflower, I put it in my bar pans. I like to use stoneware. I always get asked, Nina, what size are your pans? These pans are the size of 3/4 sheet pans. I like them because they fit nicely in my oven. They don't touch the walls, so I'm not burning anything like I might with a standard sheet pan because that heat transference can be a big deal. So I've got some cauliflower and I've got some turkey bacon. Why does that matter? Because we juggle multiple allergies in our family. And if you're like, well, what kind of allergies? Our allergy list is apples, almonds, bananas, beef, blueberries, cassava, corn, dairy, eggs, all grains, peas, pork, potatoes, soy, pineapple, oranges, sunflower, sweet potato, active yeast, benzoic acid, and my husband is lectin and legume free. And right on cue, I'm live with you and my dog is crying. I need to let him out. He does this every Saturday. No matter what I do, he finds a reason to cry. Ooh. And since he's 10 years old now, I really don't know what else to do other than just give in. So I've got my cheese on the stove and I've got my cauliflower here. And I just need to wait for my cheese to thicken. So, pretty awesome. I'm gonna grab something to drink. Now, how long have you been grain-free? I have been grain-free for 13 years, and let me tell you, as someone who has been grain-free for 13 years and lives with those allergies, I know what it is to miss out on your favorite foods. I developed this recipe to mimic loaded mashed potatoes. If you're like, that cauliflower is whole, I know, but to mimic loaded mashed potatoes. I decided to save myself a step. You could mash the cauliflower if you wanted, but I wanted this to mimic loaded mashed potatoes, which was one of my favorite holiday sides. Can't have it anymore because potatoes are on my allergy list. Okay? I know what it's like to miss out on your favorite holiday side. So if you want to make this for Easter, I highly recommend it. And if you're like, I need that recipe, my amazing VA Arlene is going to drop the link below to my VIP recipe box so you can get your name on it and access these recipes. Okay, so we're waiting for the cheese to thicken. I want to turn off the heat a little bit. All right, so like I said, 13 years, no grains, no dairy, no eggs, no soy, no corn, no almond, no cashew, no peanut, no sesame. And about a year and a half ago, lectin and legume intolerance came into our life. The cauliflower does have lectin. My husband can tolerate it because it is low in lectin. And it's working out great for us. Although, this is all mine because he says, I like my cauliflower plain. I know. But one of my favorite things about a grain-free lifestyle is when we have options, when we have choices, when our life is not loaded with have-tos, like I have to eat protein and veggies. That's my only option. I don't know about you, but I never was called to the convent. I want a rich life that is loaded with food and options and choices and pizza and cake on my birthday and not about sacrifice. So if that is what you're going for, I want you to put recipes below so that I can reach out to you and help you unlock these recipes. Let's check the cheese. Oh, it's not simmering yet. That's all right. Okay. So now if you're thinking, Nina, I really don't need a recipe for loaded cauliflower, that's cool. How about a recipe for birthday cake? And if you're like, yes, every cake I try either has something in it I can't have, or it doesn't come out right. Yes, I hear you. My first cake that I made, I was grain-free, and I was following other people's recipes, and the recipe, I did not know I had an almond allergy then, so I followed the recipe. It was made with almond flour, it was made with coconut flour. I made myself a cake, I spent all day making it, and I shared it with my friends and family at the 4th of July party, and my best friend at the time said, I tried that cake, I didn't like it. And I went like, thank you so much for your unsolicited feedback. I'll give you a hint, we're not friends anymore. But there are people like that in our life, and I like to think that they come into our life for a reason, because that day she told me that I deserve better. I didn't just want, cakes that were okay. I wanted a cake that tasted real, because she inspired me to say, you know what, I didn't like that cake either. I want real cake. Now, even though I'm talking about cake, did I have a spoon rest out? I know I had a spoon rest. Okay. Even though I'm talking about cake, I want to show you how the cheese has changed. You're like, cheese? Yeah, cheese. Because we are making cheese to cover these wonderful cauliflower bites in. Okay. Because we got bacon, we got cauliflower, but we want to load it up. We want it to taste like we went to a restaurant, and look at this. It's not super runny anymore. Now, it's not ready yet either, but it will be. But it has reached the point where I got to keep whisking. So, that used to be friend inspired me to break a recipe and kind of branch out on my own and develop recipes that didn't just look like cake, they tasted like cake too, without grains, without top allergens. And so that means there's no gluten, no grain, no dairy, no egg, no soy, no corn, no peanut, no tree nut. Okay? And they taste like real food, so that you don't just have to sit there with your little cupcake going, well, I guess it's all right. I have cake on my birthday. It'll be okay. No, I want a cake that you can share with your family. Why? Because everybody deserves pizza and cake on their birthday, and nobody should miss out because of allergens. And so I'm on a mission to make that happen. And thank you for being here with me today to share in that mission. All right. Our cheese is cheesing. Our cheese is cheesing. It is a lovely shade of yellow. And isn't it different than it was a few minutes ago? Just need a little heat. Make the magic happen. And if you're like, magic, what are you talking about, Nina? Okay, it's not magic. It's food science. Let me grab a scraper. Okay. So now, this is liquid cheddar cheese. It's liquid cheddar. It's gonna look like cheddar. It's gonna taste like cheddar. Okay, we gotta pour it. Again, the nice thing about this cheddar is that because it's liquid, you don't have to set it. I don't know if you've ever made a dairy-free cheddar cheese before, but many of them require setting it, which means chilling it in the refrigerator for 4 hours, not sparking any joy, not in my house either. So chilling it in the refrigerator for 4 hours and then shredding it. And then you gotta clean the cheese grater. No, thank you. It's not my fun. It's not my idea of fun. So this is my shortcut that gives me actual cheddar cheese without grains and the allergens that I am avoiding. And I'm just gonna put a little more here. And it looks like I have some left over. Okay, I can't resist. I need to try it. I'm gonna try it again because it's so good. All right, now I need to take my little scraper here and I need to turn it so that my cauliflower gets evenly coated. Okay. I want my cauliflower nice and evenly coated with the cheddar cheese. And then we're going to put it back in the oven because with enough heat, this turns into a cooked cheddar. It's got to be cooked to turn into a cooked cheddar. I know, rocket science, right? So how do we do that? Well, we put it in the oven. And cheddar is not the only cheese I've got for you. I've got American cheese for your burgers. I've got mozzarella for your pizza. Like, it's all in the VIP recipe box. So if your name isn't on the wait list, click below, get your name on there. And for the VIPs, make sure that you check out this recipe. It will be sensational. And if you're like me and you have a pork allergy, I am using Applegate turkey bacon here so that it is safe for me, it is safe for my husband, because I don't need the nasty effects that grains and allergens wreak on my body. Like, I've been there, I've done that, I've tried. And if you're like, well, what do they even do to you? Brain fog that lasts for days, digestive discomfort that we can't even talk about because it's rude, right? The inflammation, the joint pain, the nasty stuff that just, I don't want anymore. Would you believe that my grain allergy caused me to gain 24 pounds in a year? I was eating 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day, and I was still gaining weight because of the way my body was processing the grains. And there was nothing I could do about it except stop eating grains. And I know there are a lot of people out there who say, well, if you eat this one particular grain and that one particular grain, and if it works for you, hey, great. But in my world, grains go through my gut like glass. And I'm never going to chance it again. I no longer test positive for a grain allergy. But you know what happens when I eat a serving of rice? My body feels like it's eating glass, ground glass in my gut. And so, nope, never doing it again. So I'm putting my effort and my energy into enjoying my grain-free foods. Okay, I need a little more cheddar here. Just gonna put it here. All right. So now it's got to go in the oven, and we're gonna give it about 10 to 15 minutes. This is my first time making this in my new stove because I killed the last one. Apparently these days they only make stoves to last 7 years, and I got 8 out of mine, so that's pretty cool. But when it randomly would burn things and then undercook things simultaneously, I figured it might be time to get a new one. All right, so we're gonna check it in 10 minutes. Okay, beautiful. So now we get to finish the prep. And if you're wondering, how long does this take? 30 minutes to cook it. I did need to do some prep work for the cheese ahead of time to infuse the flavor of the cheddar into the coconut milk. So while we are waiting for that to cook, we can prep the garnish. And this garnish, I know they call it garnish, but this garnish actually has health benefits to it. If you've never looked into the nutrients that your seasonings provide, I highly recommend it, because when I was younger, I would skip the fresh herbs because they were a little expensive. And when I had dried herbs in my cabinet, why not use what you already have? But then I learned that fresh herbs have healing properties. Parsley, for example, which is what I'm going to use here to garnish and add flavor, actually aids in digestion. And for people who have lipidemia, their doctors recommend consuming fresh parsley to aid with detoxification. And so if you've ever wondered, gosh, those fresh herbs, they taste so good. Isn't the dried stuff the same? It might be the same ingredient, but it doesn't have the same nutritional properties, and our bodies rely on them. So even though it's a couple extra bucks, it's totally worth it. And the health benefits are worth it because you're worth it. So what is your favorite side dish? Do you enjoy a potato dish, a rice dish? Do you have an alternative for rice? What about pasta? What do you use for grain-free pasta? And if you're like, I don't know, Nina, let me help you out. I want you to get your name on the wait list, and we can even meet for a one-on-one call where I can help you level up your grain-free lifestyle. So I've got my parsley here. Boom. Fresh parsley. Now, I'm just gonna take my kitchen shears and chop it. If you've never done it this way, you might be chopping your fresh herbs with a knife. Good for you. This saves my sanity because I am not delicate. And if you're going, but didn't you learn that in cooking school, Nina? I did not go to cooking school. Why? Because they don't teach grain-free, allergy-friendly cooking in cooking school. If you look up grain-free, allergy-friendly, you'll probably get a few gluten-free recipes, and then you might see some of my recipes, because my recipes they have no grains, they have no top allergens, and there aren't many people out there serving our community. And so after 10 years of me living without grains and allergens, I did a little search, and I found out that just like when I started, there weren't any recipes that suited my needs. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this so that I can help people like us eat safely. And the more I learned about our community, the more wonderful people I met, and that includes you. If we haven't met yet, please reach out and say hello. I don't know your journey, but I know mine. And if your journey has been half as hard as mine, my heart goes out to you, and I want to give you a big hug. Because skipping the pizza and cake at your own birthday party, watching people eat cake in front of you, and just feeling like you'll never enjoy life again, that's how I felt. And if you feel half of that, I just want to give you a big hug. And then the more I got to know you all, the more I got to know people in other groups, I learned that there are kids who have these problems, and that made me mad because the medical community isn't serving us. The food industry isn't serving us, and that's why it's my mission to support you in this way. So I'm excited to meet you. I'm excited to share these recipes with you, and we have 5.5 more minutes, so we're going to do a little recap. Okay, so what do we do? I took some cauliflower and some turkey-based bacon, and I roasted it. Then I got some ingredients for the cheese, put it on the stove, added some magic ingredients to take that cheese from a liquid to a kind of a pourable cheddar, right? Poured it on, That's pretty much it, right? I tossed it. Let's check and see. I know it's got 5 minutes left, but this is a new stove and I don't want to burn it. Nope, it needs those 5 minutes. That's cool. So let's talk about why you might want to start making your own grain-free cheese. When you go to the grocery store and you buy dairy-free cheese, first, chances are there's hidden grains in it. The other day I went to the store and I found cheese made from oat milk. That is wonderful for the vegans, but not for us because oat is a grain. And then if you look on the back, you're going to see hidden grains there, like cellulose and modified food starch, and anything that you're like, what the heck is that? Chances are it's a hidden grain. If you'd like to learn about those, then I want you to get your name on the wait list, because in my VIP recipe box, there is a masterclass on hidden grains and getting them out of your pantry. 5-page list with a masterclass, so you can ditch the hidden grains and start eating like normal again. And it really cuts down the time on label reading. So I'm going to teach you to make this cheddar. I'm going to teach you to make the mozzarella. I'm going to teach you to make the American cheese so that you can get the hidden grains out. Now, that bag of oat cheese was like $6 for 6 ounces. Today, I made 16 ounces of dairy-free cheddar cheese for about $6. When we start taking control of our food, not only do we ditch the chemicals and the toxins and the stuff that we don't even know. When did it become okay to eat food that you didn't know the name of? When did that become okay? I don't know, but I'm kind of grateful for my food allergies because I'm no longer putting those chemicals into my body. Like many people, I just took it for granted that it's all right, the government says it's okay, I'll just eat it, but it's not. And those ingredients have long-term effects. Just think of Red 3, an ingredient that used to be considered acceptable, and now they're removing it from our food. Of course, it won't be for another year, but we can avoid it now by taking control of our food and making our food ourselves. So like I said, you buy 6 ounces of dairy-free cheese at the grocery store, $6, or you can make it yourself and get 16 ounces for $6. How much does 16 ounces of dairy-free cheese? With my mozzarella recipe, I do 2 large pizzas. 2 pizzas in those same pans, the same bar pans. So it goes a long way. We have 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. I can't believe how fast this is. So we made our cheese. We're going to garnish it with a little bit of parsley. So what would you serve this with? Maybe a roast. Maybe you would have it as a meal because it is loaded with bacon. And let me tell you, it's to die for. I don't want to brag. Now, we also talked about the nutritional contributions of fresh herbs. Parsley is going to aid in our digestion and it's going to aid in our detoxification. And many of us who have food allergies to begin with, we have problems with digestion and detoxification, but definitely ask your doctor about that, okay? Do other herbs have health benefits? Yes, almost every herb that I've ever researched has health benefits. Cilantro is another one, rosemary, thyme, but be careful with your thyme because thyme includes something that can be helpful, but don't have too much. That's why whenever you see thyme, it's very rarely included in a recipe by itself. It's usually blended with other herbs because it has such a pungent flavor, so you want to go limited on it. And we can talk more about that when we meet for a one-on-one call. So I want you to get this recipe. I want you to put your name on the wait list for the VIP recipe box so that you can enjoy some loaded cauliflower bites. All right, we're pulling it out. Less than a minute. We're good. I almost forgot to grab the oven mitts. Okay. Now, the cheese is just starting to bubble. Because that's what you want. That's how you know it's done. See? Cheese is just starting to bubble. All right. So now I'm gonna take my freshly chopped parsley, and I'm so glad you're here with me. I'm just gonna sprinkle it on. And if you've ever worried that your homemade grain-free food doesn't maybe look so great, sprinkle some fresh herbs on it. If you're doing a dessert, put some freshly shaved chocolate curls on it. And I can teach you to do that. It's super simple. And I don't mean like 12 steps super simple. I mean like 1 step super simple to make your chocolate curls. Okay. So now I'm gonna grab my scraper here. I'm gonna give it a good toss, and then I can show you. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I should get a fork so I can taste it. Let's see. Isn't this gorgeous? Mmm. Thank you so much for joining me live today. It has been an absolute pleasure cooking with you. I can't wait to meet with you. I believe you can do this. Why? Because the possibilities are endless when you break a recipe. I'll see you next Saturday.